good recent podcast. Screw friends. Too much about the business. I can do CPL to recent. Guess who's back? Guess who's back in the supply?
Yeah, so originally my plan was to record some Pokemon for my channel, but things have been kind of so this weekend, despite the fact that one of my aunts isn't actually here this weekend, so it's like okay, I sort of have a good chunk of the day once I got the mods. Well, I was installing some mods for Final Fantasy VIII, so I decided like okay, I'm not really in the talking mood right now. It's like and like I'm not sure I'd be able to stay focused on talking for so long. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna do a voiceless video recording and just try out the Final Fantasy VIII randomizer. So I did that for 4 hours, and in fact, when he started the call, I was still recording. It's like, okay, just need to finish off this, finish off the giant mechanical spider and get to shore. But yeah, so it's like, okay, I'm good for the next this week and next week. And in the meantime, I'll try to record some more stuff. As far as non-gaming stuff goes, so Tuesday I went to Uwajimaya and spent about $80 on groceries for my channel. And I think, okay, this will be the stuff that'll be popping up in I think May, because next month's gonna be the final Japan crate. Although I did have to record some stuff before I got to the Japan crate, because turns out some of the bread-based items, they were, or actually some of them were cheesecake. They were actually thawed out and put on a table. They're like, oh, I'm on the clock on these ones. I should record this first, then get back to the rest of the stuff later. So I've been doing that for the past 2 days. And thankfully, I don't need to rush the Japan crate yet, because I actually have a filler episode for next week, because only have enough items for 3 weeks. Other than that, I've been enjoying a nice week off, because the yearly March maintenance at work. Although, speaking of work, I can do the show next Saturday, although I don't want to drag out the show too long next week because I have to work that Sunday.
Hmm.
So I might rush the ending once we finish up the news next week. But other than that, it's been a good week. I got my uh, my 8 terabyte SSD in. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite fit in the laptop. Turns out I have two slots, one M.2 SATA slot and a PCIe slot. And this is a and the thing I got is a H is a M2 PCIe. So like almost, but not quite. So I'm running it off the external enclosure. I also picked up about 32 gigs of RAM, and that's actually made a big difference when rendering videos, because I went from a zero point 0.8 to 1 rendering ratio, so about 1 minute for every zero point 0.8 of a minute, or a minute of rendering for every 0.8 of a minute of video. And now, not sure exactly what the ratio is, but a 13-minute video took only about 12 minutes. So I've broken past the slightly broken past the 1-to-1 ratio barrier. So that should hopefully speed things up. Yeah, I think that's everything. Didn't notice the plain text. Oh, yeah, Discord. It does that. Yeah. And I had to think for a moment, like, wait, what plain text? Like, oh, right. But yeah, Final Fantasy VIII, it put it in a bunch of texture mods because the game was originally released in, I think it's like 1998, or was it 99? One of those 2 years. So like up in the visuals a bit. Uh, like I said, I did a randomizer mod. I uh, I got the proper music in because the Steam version is based off the original PC version, which uses MIDI files. So the PC version is the inferior. It has the inferior audio. Now I could have gotten the remastered version, but apparently not a lot of some of the mods don't work with that one. So, and well, you don't hear it on this stream. I might actually upload this onto my channel later. The randomizer also randomizes the music. So it's like, oh yeah, the mercenary school, and it has the ominous villain music. It's like, ah yes, I always knew school was evil. I mean, it's a school where they train mercenaries. It's like, at best, it's morally dubious. uh, yeah, currently playing that video, and I'm actually downloading a bunch of games onto Steam games onto my new hard drive. Okay, downloading some, and you know when you transfer your Steam folder from one hard drive to another, it's like okay, detecting files, but we still have to download a few bits and pieces so it actually shows up on the list. Yeah, a lot of it's doing is just doing that. So, how was your week?
Well, I can say my folks sort of got back into that painting business I mentioned a while back.
Oh. Hmm.
The only downside is that some colorful artwork that my sister and I did that couldn't be painted around. Thankfully, they managed to take photos before the process began, so they'll be framing those.
Cool.
For the both of us to hang in our own places.
Hmm. Grab more games.
Also,
But
just
yeah, so oh,
before we
go
get
ahead.
started, sent out birthday list to a couple of people. So they'll consider.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. I need to make a reminder for myself. Like, okay, tomorrow I need to call up the hotel, see if I can. If not, book a room for Everfree, then at least get on a waiting list. Uh, but yeah. So this week we're once again back in the magical land of Gravity Falls for the I believe it's the penultimate episode of the first season, Dreamscaperers. So it's a dark, stormy night. You can tell it's really stormy as the roof is leaking. And, Dipper and Mabel are hanging out in their room playing Battleship. Well, Dipper's trying to play Battleship. Mabel's just making a heart shape on her side. And, ah, yeah, sorry. Ah, got a hair on my tongue. Ah.
Ugh.
But yeah, and Stan calls them down to the living room to have them watch a commercial of Little Gideon. And, like, they basically point out that like, they all hate him, and like their hate for him is what unifies them. And it's like, and it's like, yeah, it's like Gideon, Gideon wants my shack, but he'll never get it as long as I have the deed. And they hear a crash of a window, and yeah, apparently Gideon broke in, and he's trying to break into Stan's safe. And it's like, game of cat and mouse. But who is the cat and who is the mouse? And Stan grabs the broom from Seuss and start waving it at Gideon. It's like, and he shoos Gideon out. And it's like, you'll pay for the Stanford Pines. Grr. So, yeah, the Stan puts the deed inside the safe, and Gideon watches like, I need to find out the uh, the password. Like, it sounds ah, like the password is safe inside my mind. And Gideon's like, well, we'll see how safe it is inside your mind with this. And he gets up the number 2 book and starts looking stuff up and finds a page on this weird triangle thing. And oh my god, Gideon's gonna summon the Illuminati. Actually, no. It took 19 episodes, but the plot is finally the main plot is finally beginning to begin. So back with the group, they're Stan's watching a movie, and whoa, I'm just gonna take a drink. Uh, yeah, part of the reason why I haven't really been up to normal recording is because I've had to wake up early the past couple days. Yesterday they helped my aunt pack up the. No wait, that was Friday. What? Oh right, today's Saturday. Wow. Uh, that's how out of it I am. Yesterday to help my aunt pack her stuff into the car for her trip, and today because we had someone coming over to take my aunt's old not bed frame. Well, that too, but the old bed frame and box spring to the dump. But yeah, back with the group. Stan's watching a movie and maybe wants to watch her movie. It's like what was it called? Uh, let's see now. Dream Boy High. It's like, oh my god, the the font and coloring for High plus a star. That's Gem. That I've recognized. I've never seen Gem in the holograms, but I recognize that at coloring font and coloring anywhere. But yeah, it's like, nah, we don't want to watch that. And in comes Seuss. Apparently, a bat broke into the kitchen, and it's like, gonna need help with that. So Stan sends Dipper off to go fix it because Stan always sends Dipper off to fix stuff like that. And at first, Dipper's like, no, I'm putting my foot down. I am not doing it. And they have a stare off, and Stan stares better. So like, fine, I'll do it. And yeah, it doesn't go too well, resulting in Dipper's head needing to be bandaged, and antibacterial stuff needs to be put on his arm. And like Dipper's like, why does he always do this to me? I was like, grr, Stan. And speaking of grr, Stan, we cut back to Gideon in the middle of a forest with a circle of candles with a picture of Stan in the middle, and and he's getting ready to do a thing, but first, back with uh, Seuss and Mabel went out for a bit. Seuss is trying to figure out if it's possible to lick your elbow, and I'm sure it's theoretically possible, but only for like those people who have like the really have like the uh, those people where their bones aren't really an obstacle. I forget what it's called, but like the really flexible people. I'm sure they could do it. Maybe, I don't know.
I believe the term is either double. I believe the term you're looking for is either double jointed or really good at yoga.
Yes. So yeah, Gideon's doing his thing, and yeah, Seuss and Mabel over here are him doing stuff, and like they're watching from behind the trees, and Gideon starts chanting, and he summons something not of this world. He summons Bill Cipher. Yes, the bow tie wearing, top hat, like the top hat wearing, uh, bow tie and top hat at wearing Triangle himself. It's okay. How about we work out a deal? I help you, you help me. I want you to break into Stan's mind and get the code to his safe. And in return, wait, what did he want in return? Uh, hold on. Ah, and in return, Bill wants help with something else that he'll go into later. It's like, wait, why don't I remember what Bill wanted? It's because he didn't really specify. But yeah, but with the mention of Stan Pines, it seems Bill has a bit of a history with him. And it's like, oh, Stan, well, you've just convinced me. So yeah, Bill's gonna go into Stan's mind, steal the code, and yeah, that's the plan. And as he vanishes, he says stuff like, "Reality's an illusion. Buy gold." It's like, oh my god, that got me. Like that's good. So yeah, back with Dipper, he's sweeping up, and Stan is just sleeping, and Mabel and Seuss come in. It's like, we need to help Stan. Uh, help him with what? Evil Triangle Man's gonna go into his brain and get the code. It's like, wait, what? But yeah, they explain it, and Triangle Man does ring a bell as far as Dipper's concerned, and he looks in the book and like, oh hey, Bill Cipher. Under no circumstances should you summon him. Like he will get into your mind. But if you know someone who's affected, you can get into their mind, and by doing the following incantation. Just a bunch of gratuitous Latin.
Always has to be complex.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Seuss is wondering if he can bring his burrito bites in with them. Like, yay, nay, we'll try anyway. So they chant the incantation, and as they hold their hands to Stan's head, their eyes glow blue, and they enter the mindscape. And it's very gray, kind of foggy. So it's like, this wouldn't be out of place in Silent Hill. And I haven't even played Silent Hill. So I just know, like, yeah, there seems to be that kind of vibe to it. But yeah, like, okay, you need to get to Stan's memory of the code before the triangle guy can. Like, and the triangle guy's like, oh yeah, good luck with that. And Mabel lunges at Bill Cipher, and she just goes right into him. And 3, 2, 1, and tosses her out. It's like, wait, what? And Bill gives them a warning, like, yeah, you really don't want to be here, or leave now, or else you'll see see things you wish you didn't. It's like, we ain't going anywhere, Triangle Man. So Bill fires a warning shot straight through Dipper's chest. Yeah, Dipper freaks out a little bit until like I think Mabel sticks her arm through him. It's like, yeah, it's like you would think that the whole hole in chest thing would be like a bit more get a bit more of a reaction. But yeah, it's like Bill also is like, I know what's going on in your mind, and Mabel's like, nah, and Bill's like, and summons up the two guys from the cover of Dream Boy High. They have names, but they're to be honest, they're not really all that relevant to this episode. So like, Bill takes off into into the Dream Shack, and uh, and the group follows. So they head down into the Hall of Memories, and it's like, okay, we need to find that the door with the code memory. So like, okay, poke your head in whichever memory, see if you can find it. So we see a memory of young Stan in jail with what was it, two Puerto Rican guys. Like, you're the best pals you could have here. And it's like, I hope he dies. See. And we get see another memory of Stan trying to sell a Stan vac. And it's, let's see. Hold on. Ah, yes. The slogan for Stan vac. Stan vac. It sucks more than anything. Which, okay, that is clever because it is a vacuum. Vacuums are supposed to suck. But yeah, apparently the guy wasn't interested. And we see a few other memories, and they find a door. They they mm, they find a door labeled Dipper memories. Keep out. And Dipper's curious, like, uh, and keeps treating me like crap. I want to know why. But Mabel's like, don't worry. We all know that he loves us, and they move on. Except Dipper, who sneaks back into the door to find out more. And he comes across a memory of Stan making. Wow, I am just. Energy level is blah right now. Mm. A memory of Stan making him chop wood, and he overhears a conversation between Stan and Seuss. It's like, that boy is pathetic. He's a loser. I wish I could get rid of him. And it's like, oh no, no, poor
Oof.
Dipper. So the group keeps going on, and they, 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 they find a door labeled top secret. Could this be it? No, it's a memory of and feeding, I think, like crackers or whatever to his stomach. And the whole playing with your stomach kind of deal. It's like, no, no. But Mabel has an idea. Stan likes to. What was it? Uh, Mabel gets an idea from what Seuss said is in that Stan likes to hide his arrest warrants underneath the rug. I'm like, okay, we'll look underneath the rug, and that's it. That's where the memory of the safe code is. Like, okay, we have it. We should destroy the store. So Mabel grabs an axe, but Sue's like, hey, let me do it. I'm good. These arms are good for destroying stuff. Sure, okay. And Seuss start, and the door starts glowing blue as Seuss picks it up through some unknown power. And then Seuss walks by, and it's like, "Hey guys, this is weird." Yeah, it turns out Seuss is kind of sus because Seuss was an imposter.
Classic.
Yes. Insert Among Us sound here. I never played Among Us, but it's like I've watched enough of it, and I've seen enough memes. Like, yeah, Seuss was actually Bill Cipher. Like, now I have the code. Whoop, whoop. And he goes off. And it's like, him, and Dipper shows up, like, you know what? Screw it. Stan wishes he could get rid of me. Screw that guy. He can solve his own problems. And it's like, come on. Seuss is like, you know, you're pretty cool, dude, but that was not cool, dude. So the group goes off to chase after Bill. Meanwhile, with Bill, he's having a Skype, well, not actually a Skype call, but basically a Skype call with Gideon. It's like, okay, I have the code. It's like, okay, the code is such and such, such and such, and a what's it called? What are they called? Like the dart gun sticky thingy. Ah, ah, ah. Anyway, the door gets knocked out of Bill's grasp and into a memory of. So, do you guys remember the bottomless pit episode? Because it just went down the bottomless pit. It's like, ah. And Gideon's like.
And surprisingly, that gun was stood up earlier.
Yeah. And Gideon's like, you failed me. I'll do things my way. And this has made Bill angry. You wouldn't like Bill when he's angry. Boom. Yeah, he turns red. He creates a blazing inferno surrounding in the group. And summons up a platform underneath the group, rising up into the sky. Like, why do I hear boss music? Meanwhile, back with Dipper, he's going off on his own trying to find the exit, and he just checking through doors, and he finds a door that leads back to that memory he saw earlier. That's like, yeah, he's a loser, or it's pathetic. Wish I could get rid of him. That's what they used to like. That's what they used to say to me, or something like that. And then he goes on to tell Seuss that he used to be pretty weak and pathetic back in his day, but then Stan's dad signed him up for like boxing, and that was even worse than school. But it gradually built him up until one day, this lady was getting mugged, and Stan just punches the guy right in the face. So really, what Stan's trying to do is like build Dipper up. You know, it's like toughen him up. And Dipper did eventually break the wood that he was trying to chop. Which is why and like don't forget this was a conversation with Seuss, which explains why Seuss was so disappointed in Dipper earlier, because like, yeah, he knew what the rest of the conversation was. And Dipper's like, ah. And then he actually passes through the doorway, and Stan's like, hey, you should probably fix that hole in your chest. Let me fix that. Wait, what? And Stan's like, oh yeah, this is a dreamscape. You could basically do whatever. It's like, so wait, Dream Stan is aware. It's like, whoa.
Also,
yeah,
Magic Sheep before Magic Sheep.
Yes. But yeah, it's like, after that, he hears the ongoing battle between Bill and the group. It's like, Yeah, I should probably get to that. Yeah, thanks. And James sounds like, huh, finally started to toughen up. Good for him. So, Bill's doing his thing and basically starts like using their fears against them. He summons a big big talking British bulldog to scare off Seuss, and for Mabel, she basically he takes away her cuteness, makes her ew, kind of green, big face, not pleasant to look at. It's like, okay, time to finish you off. Then he gets blasted in the face by a Dipper who just flew on by. Yeah, Dipper's flying, and he explains to the others that like, hey, this is the Mindscape. You can basically do whatever as long as you can think of it. So Mabel gets a kitten hands and shoots flying kitten heads at Bill and Seuss. So have any of you seen Care Bears? You know that at chest symbol laser beam thing that they do? Seuss does that with the question mark.
Thank you, Nostalgia Critic.
Like, okay, Bill's had enough. He starts firing a laser towards them, and they imagine some protective balls to protect themselves, and it reflects the blast back at Bill. Like, aha! Now Mabel has an idea. Oh yeah. Bill blasted the two movie guys, but Mabel summons them back, and like, ah, synthesizer music. Ah, my ears. They're like, okay, Dipper has a plan. Okay, everyone, summon up a portal out of Stan's mind. Like, and yeah, everything goes right, and Bill's like, okay, well done, did pretty good. I am impressed. Yeah, fine. You can go. I'll be keeping an eye on you, and there will come a day in the future, but yeah, I'll be watching from now on. Beware. But yeah, after Bill leaves, they start flickering. It's like, I guess it's time to go. And Mabel says her farewells to the movie boys. Like, knowing the show, they'll probably show up at some point in the future. But for now, it's farewell. So they wake up, and Stan's like, "Wait, what's going on?" Like, don't worry about it. And it's like, okay, everything's good. And then they hear an explosion. Yeah, so since Bill failed to maintain his portion of the bargain, Gideon went to Plan B, dynamite, and he blew up the safe and has gotten the deed. And so he calls his dad in with a wrecking ball and starts tearing up the shack. To be continued. And as the credits roll, we see a flowing river as a slow version of the intro music plays. It's like whoa.
Also contains one of
And
the, also contains one of the encryptions. which is
Yeah.
basically a number version of To Be Continued. Though originally, surprisingly, it was a Bill and Ted reference.
Oh. But yeah, that was the episode. Pretty good. I believe this is more of a serious episode than a ha ha funny episode. Though it did have a few moments in it. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely a serious episode. Like I said earlier, this is where the plot really begins.
Yeah, it's at this point you realize there were smaller pickups, but the smaller pickups, this is basically the main event.
Yeah,
Admittedly, I slightly regret not losing a two-part bit until later, but given how apparently we're getting 14 episodes this time, in terms of Pony Life, hopefully there'll be some time between that and G5 that will round off the season.
yeah. It's like, oh, only 14 episodes this time. Is it because of what happened last year, or is it basically because like this was only meant to be a stopgap until the actual new series started?
And that is an actual controversy, whether it's regarding conditions or how long to the next generation.
Yeah.
Also, as someone who has watched Disney Channel longer, I am surprisingly familiar with Stomach Play, so that's the second time Disney Channel's done it.
Eh. Yeah, one thing to note about the gameplay is like, yeah, it is a bit repetitive, but for randomizers, especially with Final Fantasy VIII, it may require quite a bit of grinding just to get the proper abilities. I was actually watching a playthrough of it the other day, and it took about 4.5 hours just to get past the first boss. Mind you, his first boss was originally a boss from near the end of Disc 2 with a decently high speed and the ability to cast triple on himself, which means, oh hey, he casts magic 3 times per turn. Yeah. Thankfully, I lucked out in that one of the common drops in the good grinding spot is, hey, you can use this item to cast Ultima. Neat. It's kind of funny. I got at the AOE high level magic. He got elixirs. It's like I get damage, he gets healing. Also, one of the abilities I granted for was enemy level up. It's like okay, you can use this ability to raise the level of enemies. And now that the enemies are higher level, they have higher level spells. And that's where you get into even more grinding. Because normally you'd have to wait till you're high level, because in Final Fantasy VIII, enemies scale to your own average party level. But with level up, you don't need to. Oh yeah, I'm like level 12 and I already have Firaga and, and Quake. Uh, uh,
Okay, season 1, episode 3. That's where the af- aforementioned previous use of stomach play was.
ah. Yeah, before we get into the it was like I've been reading the bit some of the reactions for the Snyder cut. I was like, oh yeah, the Snyder cut was amazing. Why couldn't we have gotten this instead of the Whedon cut? Yeah, here's the thing: they would have still had to cut half that stuff out, so it still wouldn't have been it still wouldn't have been as good. So it's like,
I can barely imagine this kind of reaction with the original Lord of the Rings cuts.
yeah, the difference is Lord of the Rings had something good to work off of. It's like you don't need the extended cut of Lord of the Rings to make the original movie good.
Just saying, this isn't the first time they had to trim from, I think, 3 hours of material or
Yeah, I
whatever.
know. I'm just saying that the initial theater release probably would have gotten about the same reaction. But now that they've gotten their beloved Snyder cut, hopefully they'll shut up now. It's they're lucky they got their redo. A lot of other things don't get that chance. Anyway. So, apparently Pepsi is doing another contest promotional flavor thing again. This time with Peeps. It's like, oh hey, that could have been a cool thing I could do for my channel, but it's for a contest. It's like,
Then again, AVGN did look back on the short quest,
yeah.
so I guess anything's possible. Blaney brought the Mustang back to victory lane alongside two other top tens.
Cool.
This one's a few months old, and there were talks of this way back, but live action version of Ivor the Engine going forward, starring Eddie Izzard and Jerry Matthews,
Hmm.
along with backing from Rob Brydon and Rias fans. Yeah, it's one of those British cult television shows that I used to watch on YouTube, which unfortunately I'm guessing due to Universal's currently owning the rights. Sadly, not much except for a reenactment of sorts on YouTube nowadays.
Hmm.
Thankfully, WCOS stream had me covered when I took another look back. Recommendable watch, especially if you're familiar with Winnie the Pooh, because it's set in that kind of mindset. Seems Oscar Isaac's in combat training in preparation for upcoming Moon Knight role.
Hmm.
SDCC is looking for a resurgence in November this year. Awkward shooting interactions with the hammerhead design of King Shark.
Oh.
So expect a Great White version from Gunn's version of Suicide Squad.
Okay.
Got castations for MODOK. John Hamm, Bill Hader, Nathan Fillion, and Whoopi Goldberg.
Hmm.
Seems there's a new Transformers live-action movie in the works, this time from Defender showrunner and Angel Manuel Soto. Question is whether it's connected to what's currently coming out or another reboot.
Hmm.
Almost spotted with Hemsworth and Taika opens possibility of him returning as the Grandmaster in Love and Thunder.
Okay.
Randy McKinnon of Safety to pen the script for the Stack Shock movie. Seems the Panty Raid episode is being pulled from the airwaves.
Uh-huh.
Blood and Treasures Katia Winter to play Lilina for the boys. Only a month to go to the new Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that.
Here's some smashing stands to say regarding rumors on the possibility of filling in as a young Luke. If Hamill calls me personally and tells me he feels inclined to share this role with me, then I believe it. George R. R. Martin has signed a 8-figure deal with HBO to produce new content.
Yep.
Witcher Blood Origin finds male lead in Lorenzo Ferrarian. seen just Renee Rones was originally cast to play Green Lantern John Stewart.
Hmm.
No Way Home reportedly wrapped up filming.
All right.
A cast is expecting Stormfront to appear in the third season of Boys.
Hmm.
First three episodes of Invincible now available.
Hmm.
Chad Stahelski to helm Ghost of Tsushima adaptation for Sony Pictures.
Interesting.
Huffman confirms, referring to Giancarlo's original theme for Doctor Strange, as he scores Multiverse of Madness. Recent castings for CW's live-action version of Powerpuff Girls include Chloe Bennett, Dove Cameron, and Yana Perrault. And Bennett reveals a new look. Black Mask unveiled for Batwoman Season 2.
Oh.
Ooh, Pierce Brosnan to play Dr. Fate.
Ooh.
You look for Kristen Stewart as Princess Diana in Pablo Larraín's Spencer. Johnson replacing Billy Crudup as Henry Allen. Ian Lowe took the former younger version of Scred Speedster.
Hmm.
Series Monica Jackson and Rudy Mancuso, undisclosed roles. Sasa Kale to be the next Supergirl.
All right.
Casey Clemens signed on as Iris West. Spiral from the Book of Souls, starring Samuel Jackson, coming this May. New evidence suggesting 10-star actor Jack Vale playing Kid Loki.
Hmm.
Helen Mirren cast as Hespera for Fury of the Gods. Reimagining National Treasure in the works at Disney Plus. It'll be a Latina girl this time in the lead. Uncovering Family History. Exploring identity, community, circle authorship, and patriotism. Some potential.
Yeah.
Martin Freeman still on board, even without Chadwick Boseman. John Wick 4 to begin filming in June, no longer set to be back-to-back production with John Wick 5.
Mm.
Like Radar now set for both Disney Plus and theatrical on July 9th. Shang-Chi moving to September.
Yep.
John Shouted start in Don't Make Me Go. you're disappointed on the possibility of on the you're disappointed on the Ayer cut not being released. Bit of a kick lately, so I need to bring this up. Scott Pilgrim returning to theaters next month. New Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. Warner is not tolerating the toxic Snyder Cut fans. Rainbow Connection added by Library of Congress to the National Recording Registry.
Cool.
Jack Reacher adding Malcolm Goodwin, Willa Fitzgerald, and Chris Webster. Your Lord of the Rings show adds Wayne Shi Yip to direct 4 episodes. Keanu Reeves set to star a movie and follow-up anime based on BRZRKR. That'll be nice for him. Kendrick, Trinity Collett, Daniel Day Kim, Shamir Anderson. Seeing the first trailer for Stowaway coming next month.
Oh.
The Nintendo movies tapping Emerald Fennell to pen the script.
Oh.
Simmons confirmed for J. Joe Jameson. Witcher Season 2 writing Chase Clare as Philippa Enyart. Jeremy Tavish as the Kistra. Expecting Eternals this November, as well as Far From Home December. Senator confirmed MCU fanboy. Well, Steakhouse says Keith Kane. 7th delay for the Kingsman, now expected in December. Free Guy moves to August. Pixar Luca, June 18th. Cruella, May 28th, as well as plus Premiere Access. Hasselhoff's getting a new show. Jamie Alexander wraps up her filming for Love and Thunder. Mitchells vs. Machines, formerly Connected, coming next month. Seth Rogen cast as Spielberg's favorite uncle for an untitled film based on his childhood. Echo series in early works at Disney Plus. Alakiwa Cox most likely to keep the role. Jamie Foxx to play Mike Tyson in a biopic. Martin Scorsese executive producing. Resident Evil Raccoon City, September 3rd. Jesus and Sinclair coming in F9. At least 6 Game of Thrones spin-offs in the works. Boondocks reboot next year.
Oh.
Neil Druckmann saying HBO's Last of Us, taking dialogue from the first game.
Okay.
deviate greatly to much better effect in some episodes. Apparently there's an R-rated cut of Mrs. Doubtfire.
I have heard about that. Like, okay.
Finally, our long chain of unfortunate passings include Jessica Walter, John Christian Stewart. Some Marquess of Butte. This goes racing driver Pierre from the 124 Hours of Le Mans. Houston Tumlin, who was in Talladega Nights.
Oh.
George Siegel of the Goldbergs. Finian's Rainbow, British racehorse. Craig Errant, who was in the HBO series Oz. Larry McMurdy, the screenwriter Oscar winner. Oof, Beverly Clearly. That's the third Northwest Icon. And Canadian Horse Jockey Todd Cabell. Sovereign Award for Outstanding Jockey, 92, 95, 03, 12, 6.
Yeah. I'm kind of thinking I might record some more Final Fantasy VIII tomorrow because I've been having fun messing around with the game. Like, this won't be my proper playthrough of it, but it's like, doesn't hurt to have some extra backup footage, you know?
Sure.
It depends on what I have planned for tomorrow. It's like, I mean, I don't think I have anything planned for tomorrow, but what do I know? Anyway, uh,
Well, I suppose fingers crossed that fingers crossed on the Tiny pop capture.
Yep.
Do you have a film from a company my colleague might be a bit familiar with on standby in case something does come up?
Yep.
Either way, stay safe, stay well, and we will hopefully see you next week.
Take care.